everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today, by popular demand, we are making vegetable lasagna. Lasagna is one of those comfort dishes that I really love. Um, and today we're highlighting vegetables in the lasagna, but by no means it means that you should completely avoid meat on the lasagna. Depending on your dietary restrictions or your dietary needs, you can use the meat to your liking. For example, if you want to control the fat content, definitely then use leaner beef or turkey. Or if you're a vegan and you want to add more protein to your lasagna, then perhaps using other meat substitutes. And also I wanted to talk a little bit about the cheese. So I am not vegan. I'm pseudo vegetarian. So I'm going to use regular cheese, but I have used cashew cheese and cashew ricotta. And those are great substitutes if you are vegan. So you can go ahead and use those. It melts just like regular cheese. The goal for today's workshop is to give you ideas on how to make comfort foods more nutritious. So with that, let's jump right into preparing the vegetables, and I'll explain all of the ingredients. Lasagna usually has tons of ingredients, but I did my best to to minimize the ingredients to make it straightforward and easy to make. First of all, I like to use oven ready lasagna. So this is the type of lasagna that you don't have to boil. You can start building your lasagna with the lasagna uncooked, and it'll cook as you bake it. We have a bag of baby spinach. We have eggplant. This is a medium-sized eggplant. And we have some zucchini. You can use yellow, green zucchini, whatever zucchini you like. We have onion, and you can use any type of onion, yellow, red, whatever onion you have at hand. And we have some mushrooms. I used these white mushrooms today, but you can use whatever mushroom you have available. And as for spices, I decided to use garlic powder, oregano, red chili flakes, and a little bit of salt. We're gonna use olive oil to cook the veggies. We have some ricotta cheese. This is about a cup of ricotta cheese. And we have about 2 cups of low-fat mozzarella. The ricotta cheese is also low-fat. And this is a low-sodium marinara sauce. If you want, you can make your own marinara sauce, but if you want convenience, you can just go ahead and buy your marinara sauce. If you want it low sodium, look at the label, look for the word sodium, and next to it, you'll see a percentage. That's the percentage daily value. For it to be low in sodium, find a sauce that is closer to 5%. So anything that is closer to 5% is low in sodium. Those are the ingredients. So let's start cutting and preparing our vegetables. All the vegetables are washed. I'm gonna start with the zucchini. So I'm just gonna cut it in small chunks. Take the bottom and the top, and I like to cut it in half. And I'm gonna cut it about 1/4 of an inch pieces so that it cooks fast. I just cut them like that, about 1/4 of an inch thick. So now we're gonna cut it in strips. I wanna make sure that you guys see, like this. We're gonna cut it into squares. They don't have to be perfect, but we do want them to be similar in size so that they all cook sort of at the same time. All right, so we have the zucchini ready. Let's go for the eggplant. I'm gonna take off the top. You can just cut right through it. And the bottom. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna cut slabs of the vegetable. Let's see, maybe we can do. I'm gonna try and do quarter inch. All right, so now we're gonna cut up the mushrooms. The mushrooms I wash with just cold running water and make sure we rub them very well because sometimes um, you see all sort of dirt and things like that, to make sure that you wash them very well, each one separately. And you can use this for vegetable stock. It actually adds very good flavor. And if you want to use it also with the lasagna, you can do that. I just decided not to use them today. Um, so we're gonna just mince the mushrooms. So we're gonna slice them. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is gonna add a nice meaty texture to the vegetable filling, and it's gonna add lots of flavor. And now we're gonna do the onions. You can also use fresh garlic if you want. I am leaving for vacation and I didn't want to buy anything that I was not going to use. I just decided to use dry garlic, but you can just go ahead and add your minced garlic if you want, or you can use a garlic press to add it to the dish. All right, we are ready to cook. All right, guys, we're gonna cook the zucchini, the eggplant, mushrooms together with some of the onion, and I'm gonna cook the spinach separately. Spinach cook faster, and I don't want to overcook it. So we're gonna cook the spinach first, set it aside in my cute little plate to get ready for building the lasagna, and then we're gonna come back to the same skillet and cook the vegetable filling. So let's start with some olive oil. I have here about 2 tablespoons, but you can use more or less according to your needs. I'm just gonna add half of that. The stove is on medium high. So we're gonna cook the onions. A little bit. And then we're gonna add the spinach. I'm not gonna add a lot of salt here because we do have the sheath. The sheath has some sodium there that'll give flavor. Also, the tomato sauce has some sodium there, some salt there. It'll give us more flavor. And we will add a little bit of salt to the vegetable filling, the other with the zucchini and the eggplant. So this should be packed with flavor. So we're gonna cook it until it's bright green and wilted. This should take you about a minute or two. See how all the leaves are reducing in volume. Smells so good. Perfect. That's all. I'm gonna place it on my little plate here. Now this part of the filling is ready. And now for the rest of the vegetables. We're gonna add the rest of the olive oil. And we're gonna add first the onions and the mushrooms. We're gonna mix that in and let it cook for about a minute. And I'm gonna go ahead and add our spices. It's important to add whatever spice you're using. You can use other herbs like parsley, rosemary, whatever you like. But it's important to add it in this moment so that the oil and the moisture of the vegetables help wake up all of those flavors. And I like red pepper flakes with this vegetable filling. It adds a nice kick to it, but it's totally optional. You don't need to add it. I have a little bit of salt, maybe like quarter teaspoon. And I have garlic powder, however much you want. I love garlic, so I think I put about 2 teaspoons. I exaggerated with the garlic. And if you have a salt restriction, you can just skip the little bit of extra salt. So this is gonna wake up all those flavors. See how all the mushrooms are reduced? We're gonna let that cook for another minute, and then we're gonna start adding the other vegetables. Alrighty, so I'm gonna start adding zucchini. So eggplant and zucchini are in season nowadays. So because they're in season, they're at a better price. So it's good to take advantage. So now we're gonna mix everything very well. And we're gonna raise the heat a little bit. I had it in medium high. We're gonna raise it to high, and I'm gonna add a little bit of water to help soften all of the veggies, especially the eggplant and the zucchini. And we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of water. You can add more if you need to. I'm gonna raise the heat. All right, we're gonna let that cook for about 4 to 5 minutes until everything is nice and soft. We're gonna add some of the tomato sauce, and we're gonna get ready to build our lasagna. All right, guys, it looks nice and soft and super delicious. We're adding a little bit of that sauce over it. Mix it in. Looks so good. Perfect. And we're ready to build our lasagna. So we're gonna add a little bit of the sauce. And for this, I use a big jar of sauce. It's about 23.5 ounces. You can use more if you want your lasagna even more saucy. I like to start with some on the base. And then we're gonna put some of the noodles, the oven ready noodles. I'm gonna break them. You see, this is the spinach. I'm gonna add some of the ricotta cheese here. I'm using the same spoon for everything. It all's gonna go to the same place. Because I'm not a fan of cleanup. I'm just gonna mix this up, the low-fat ricotta with the cooked spinach, to make sort of like a filling, and we're gonna pour it over. And you can do a big lasagna, a bigger lasagna, smaller lasagna. Like I mentioned, I'm going on vacation, so I did 2 mini lasagnas. And I'm gonna freeze this one. Lasagna freeze very well, especially after you cook it. You just put it back in the oven, and it just tastes really good. Now we're gonna add a little bit of that mozzarella and some sauce. And now we are going to put noodles. And now what I'm going to do, add some sauce. I hope I don't run out of sauce. Add veggies. Looks so good. I think my pan is kind of small, but that's okay. We're going to add some cheese. We're going to add noodles. And I'm gonna cover this here. And now we're gonna add the rest of the sauce. Even out all the sauce. We're gonna add some of the ricotta cheese that we had left over. My grandmother used to use low-fat cream cheese. That's also really nice with lasagna. If you're vegan, you can do the vegan ricotta cheese with cashews. Tastes good. At least I like it. And now we top it off with cheese. If you have fresh basil, if you have fresh parsley or fresh oregano, you can add it on top. I might add a little bit of dry oregano on top. We put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes until all the cheese is melted and it looks golden brown. All right, so I'm gonna, we had 2 mini lasagnas actually that I made this morning and they're ready to eat. It's really hot, so be careful. So I usually will eat this with a nice salad, especially now in the summer. Something refreshing with it. Again, you can freeze this. It freezes amazingly. So I like to use these glass containers because it comes with a cover. You cover it and you put it in the freezer. Want all of my veggies. All right, and this is our veggie lasagna. All right, guys, like I mentioned in the beginning, this recipe was meant to inspire you use more vegetables in comfort recipes like lasagna, and I'm excited to taste it. It actually looks really, really good. Let's see. I like the oven ready lasagna because it's nice and perfectly cooked. It's not mushy or overcooked. And I love the texture of the vegetables and the nice kick of the chili flakes, the red pepper flakes. It's really delicious, and I actually don't really miss the meat. If there's a specific dietary restriction that you have, then I suggest for you to speak to your nutritionist or dietitian or your doctor to see what foods you can include. This is one for anyone who's looking to incorporate more vegetables in their comfort meals. I hope that I inspire you to cook more at home, and I will see you on the next one.